Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to some more hardcore Minecraft. In the last episode we explored this haunted house that you can see behind me. It was a very spooky video and a lot of you guys seem to really like it, so thank you, I'm glad you did. It was a very fun one to record. Today we're going to be doing something not quite as frightening. Halloween is over after all. It's time for Christmas. Just kidding. Let's save that for December at the earliest, shall we? Today what I would like to do is to landscape my area here. Now, my base actually stretches quite far out into several other directions. We got the foundry there, the haunted house over that way, my amethyst tower is that side, we got the giant bee nest which has no bees living inside of it anymore over there, and the deep slate castle's all the way over there. But we kind of have this central area where most of my stuff is, and I don't think I'm going to be building anything here, which means it's ready for terraforming and landscaping, which is always a bittersweet moment for me when it comes to this point in a project, because I don't really like doing landscaping and terraforming, at least not in large quantities. A little bit here and there, yeah, it's actually quite enjoyable, somewhat peaceful, you could say. But doing a whole big area like this, it just gets a little bit much for me. However, when it's all done, it's really, really worth it. So I'm just running around here trying to figure out how much I would actually like to get landscaped today, and I think a good cutoff point would just be sort of everything I can kind of see from this vantage point, so not really going anywhere further than round that corner there, and I probably won't go much beyond sort of this part. I might do something on the way to the beehive, but that's like a whole nother stretch of area. I'm thinking if we can just do this enclosed off section just to get an idea of the rest of the terraforming and landscaping we're going to do, that should be a pretty good start, and we can save the rest till later on when everything is built. Not that I know what everything actually is anyway. I know I said we weren't going to be doing anything related to Halloween today, but I'm actually recording this on Halloween. I know, it's a little bit confusing, it's just how I make my videos. It works for me. So these guys are extra spooky. We got a thunderstorm, and this just isn't the right vibe. So, oh no, that's not good. Hang on a second. Why is that burning? Do I not understand how lightning rods work? Should I not be putting them on top of my houses? I don't think I should be putting them on top of my houses. Okay, let's get rid of these. That was close. That was very close indeed. Well, I've removed the lightning rods, as you can see, but I still would like my houses not to be burnt down by fire and lightning, so I think what I'm going to do is maybe just dot these around on the mountaintop. So if we just kind of stick one up here, and hopefully that should suck any lightning away over to this spot, and then if it gets a little bit close on this side, it can go over here. And that way, if we do get a thunderstorm and I'm not around to sleep it away, which is probably what I should just be doing now, that would be the smartest, hopefully the lightning rods will save the day. Anyway, as I was trying to say, this is not the right vibes for this video. Halloween is gone, it's time to go to bed, get rid of the mobs and the thunderstorm. Ah, there we go. Much more relaxing. Time to start something that isn't so relaxing for me. Begrudgingly, I am in fact going to be building some custom trees. Most of you probably know by now. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I do want to do it because they just make everything look so much better. Before we start that, however, I need to get myself some scaffolding. So you've probably seen this giant bamboo tower in the background of this video, and I planted this a little while ago because I only have like 24 scaffolding or something like that. I need a lot more, so let's do a very satisfying breaking of the bamboo. Yeah, that was really, really nice to listen to. Ah. I thought it made more than that, I'll be honest. So now in total I have 47 scaffolding. That should probably be enough, although I may just hang around until nighttime and kill a few more spiders. So as I said, the first thing on today's agenda is custom trees, and in particularly large spruce custom trees. My least favorite type of custom tree to build. I have never ever been good at them. Thankfully, today I'm doing something a little bit different, which I think I'll explain after I've got them all built. So here are 3 of the 8 custom trees that I've built. On the left is the first one that I made, and on the right is the last one that I made, and in the middle is just somewhere about halfway through. But it's kind of interesting because you can see how I've actually changed when it comes to building them. I've gotten better at doing it over time. So the first one, it took me quite a while. I was still trying to figure out how to actually do it, and then about halfway through I figured out a new technique that would be so much more efficient and just a whole lot faster. And then by the end of it, doing the last tree, I was just in full flow, and I think I got that one done like twice as fast as the first one that I did. Kind of cool. I would love to take credit for all of these beautiful trees because that's what they are, right? They really are stunning. I love them so much, but they are not my design exactly. So the thing I did different when it came to building these custom trees that I haven't ever really done in the past is I followed a building tutorial, which is something I haven't done for a very, very long time. Despite making building tutorials myself virtually every single week, I don't actually watch them that often. But this time I thought I'd give it a go, so I had a look around on YouTube for some custom tree tutorials and eventually found one by somebody called King Z, and they have a really, really good tutorial for this type of custom tree. I'm going to leave a link to it down in the description below. I'd highly recommend checking it out. Just the process he has for building these, it's kind of as though you build them in a pattern. There's actually some sort of symmetry to it, but you can't really tell, which is what makes it so great. So building them is quite simple and straightforward, but when they're done, they look very, very natural. So yeah, go check out that tutorial if you want to know how to build these. So to begin with, on the first tree I made, which was this one over here, I followed the tutorial pretty much step by step, doing exactly what he said, and then after that I gave up on it, not because of the tutorial's sake, it just was a bit quicker that way. So yeah, I might have kind of fallen out of the pattern. You can see how this one is a little bit different to say which was the last one I built? This one right here. Yeah, it changes a bit, but I don't honestly think that's a bad thing. All of these, they look super similar, but they also vary quite a lot if you say look at them from a distance. Let's have a fly away and do a gradual turn round. Yeah, looks really cool, doesn't it? So I'm going to be building some more custom trees, smaller than these ones. We're not just going to have these 8 giant trees around. There will be some others, probably more that size. I'm also going to have to get rid of any in the near vicinity that look like this. Mine are going to be slightly different, but yeah, about the same size. However, I'm not going to do that just yet because the next step I would like to take is to do a couple of the more specific pieces of landscaping. And by that, I mean stuff like ponds, waterfalls, just little more detailed builds that we're going to be doing. Like for over here, as an example, I'm tempted to like make this into a little bit of a pond and build a bridge going over it. And we also have this natural sort of tunnel going through the terrain here. I would like to make this look a little bit better, although I think that's technically terraforming, but it's the same sort of thing. So I'm going to go around sort of having a look at my area here, trying to come up with some cool ideas like that, and then afterwards we can build some more trees, do some stuff with the terrain, get some bone meal down, all the usual sort of stuff. Some weird things have happened though whilst I've been building these trees. To start with, Sky, this llama right here, has brought over some friends. I believe they've actually formed a bit of a pack, a line if you will. I don't know what the actual term for a group of llamas is, but I believe if we actually unleash Sky here, and then if we lead her back up again, I think they're going to follow in tandem. Yep. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Sky has got some company, which is nice. Oh, sorry about that. Choked you a little bit. So they're just going to hang around. So I guess that means they're going to need some names. So we need 2 more llama names that can go alongside Sky here, and then we'll give them a carpet and some chests and everything. It should be kind of cool. The other peculiar thing that took place is something I've actually just figured out as I'm currently speaking. So it's not actually that weird, but I guess that is kind of cool. So it must have been during the lightning storm at the start of the episode, we must have hit these lightning rods, and obviously they give out a redstone input, so they flicked up the trapdoors here. So yeah, that busts that theory of or that mystery of how the trapdoors were opened up, because I certainly didn't do that. I guess I need to get rid of these because yeah, I don't really want that happening every single time we have a thunderstorm. So if you guys have any other ideas of what we could use as some oars to go on the side of the boat, please do let me know. If not, then I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I've been stood up here atop this tree for a little while now, just kind of looking over my area here, trying to think of some ideas, and I've got a handful, so allow me to go through them with you. The first one I would like to do is over here, just to the left of the stables on this mound. I think I want to gradually bring some of the stone over and actually carve out a little bit around about this size, the circle I'm making with my cursor here, just as a small cave, and maybe we could put some water inside of it or something like that. I think that could be a pretty cool detail. The next one is to do with the cliff here, just beside our cartographer's house. I think maybe if we could have some sort of waterfall coming out there could be pretty cool, and then possibly some sort of pond, or maybe just have it sort of go down into a river and end up possibly down here if I could maybe work out something like that. I'm not sure, but waterfall or just something to do with the cliff I think should be cool. The third idea is, of course, the one I've mentioned over here, just the tunnel going through this spot and something in front of my doorway here, which maybe I should make it look a little bit better too, because, yeah, that is not really great, is it? No, it's not. I'm glad you agree. And then lastly, although I'm not specifically sure what it is, but I'm going to have to do something with the stone over here. I could bring it over, bring the dirt over and just kind of cover it all and do some trees and that sort of thing, but I don't really want to. I kind of want to keep it as natural as possible, terrain-wise, so yeah, gonna have to have a think of what little details like that I can add to stone. Remember at the start of the episode where I said I wasn't looking forward to this and I don't really like landscaping and terraforming? Well, here I am eating my own words. I'm having so much fun and I don't know why, to be quite honest with you. As I said, usually I don't like this type of thing, but I think it's all just going surprisingly well that I'm actually loving it. So yeah, I can't wait to do some more. But for right now, let me just give you a closer look as to all of the little details we've added in. Starting off here with this little pond I've made. This is probably the simplest thing I've done of everything. I've just realized I really want to go break that snow block because it's making it look weird. Holy moly, big lag spike. Whoa, that was unusual. I haven't had a lag spike that bad since I had my old computer. Uh-oh. Hopefully we're fine. And I still didn't even break this. Hang on a second. Bear with me. Let me just change that back to normal. And there we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is, as I said, probably the simplest thing that I did. I just basically made it a bit more tunnely, added in some lanterns, and then we just made this small pond with the most simple bridge you could possibly think of added in. Obviously, we don't have a lot of room here, so I couldn't really do anything super detailed. So we've just gone for a trapdoor bridge, which I think looks fine, as well as making the entrance look a little bit nicer too. Next up, we have this small camping cave, and I love how this turned out. It's really small and simple, but it just adds a whole lot of life to the world here, and I love it. I'm super happy with how this all turned out. I think it looks great. And now we have the double waterfalls, which wasn't really the original idea for what I was going to add to this area. My plan literally was to just do like a bit of terraforming on the cliff around here and just add in a waterfall and just maybe make it go underground somewhere. But I was looking at it a bit more in depth and I realized that we kind of had two perfect spots for a little waterfall. I started imagining it in my head, and from that point I just couldn't help myself. So it's a bit messy, but I actually really kind of like it. So yeah, we have these two waterfalls with their each origin points, and they end up meeting in the middle here, going into this sort of very miniature ravine almost. I'm not too sure what to call this. A fissure possibly. Just realized I need to waterlog that stair. There we go. But it eventually goes through down into a one wide hole and then opens up into a cave down here, which, yeah, it's just a fun little detail. I'll probably never come back down here ever again unless I do like a little bit of a tour. But yeah, I love the idea of it going into this tiny little crevice. Crevice is probably the better word I'm thinking of. But yeah, this is a nice waterfall. It's a fairly new one when it comes to the age of the waterfall. And what do I mean by that? What is the age of a waterfall? How can you tell how old one is? Well, it depends on the land around it. Take this one, for example, and actually it's probably best if I can land on top of this tree here. Careful flying, and nailed it. So you can see we have the water here and it's just completely eroded a lot of the rock here. So it's obviously been around for a little while, in theory. Obviously it's not, it's brand new in my world here. But you know, geologically wise, it's been eroding the stone for so long, which is why there's a great big open sort of cascading hole in the middle of the mountain. And yeah, as opposed to our double waterfall over here, which hasn't really touched much of the land at all. Was that intentional? No, it's just because I was a bit lazier over this side. But that's what I'm telling myself anyway. So yeah, this is a pretty cool waterfall. I've never really done one like this before, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Plus it makes this whole just large area of stone look a whole lot more interesting. We are getting some frozen ice at the top here, and I've tried to amend that by adding in some waterlogged slabs and stairs, so it's not going to be able to like freeze these blocks. So hopefully it should be fine and it's not going to cut off the source going all the way down. This pool should be fine, as well as this one down here. And by the way, just so it makes a bit of sense, I've just dug a hole down there and I'm pretending the water goes back underground somehow. For some reason, I don't know why. My original plan was to make it go down the mountain here and have this waterfall go all the way down, but I didn't really have a good ending point. Plus the pathway is right here, so yeah, I've just chosen the slightly easier option of just digging a 1x1 hole and shoving it down there. I've just realized the trees don't look great from this point of view, do they? Which is kind of important because you fly a lot in Minecraft, so I think I just need to add a few more leaves in the open spots there, but that's fine. I'll do that in a little bit. So aside from that, there's only a few more things I need to do to complete this area. One of them is to add in some smaller custom spruce trees, which I'm actually surprisingly looking forward to. I know, who'd have thought this day would come where I'm looking forward to making custom trees, but here we are. So that's one thing I've got to do. And then the other thing is to bone meal the grass just so we can get some tall grass. And I think I just want grass. I don't think I want any flowers around like this. Usually I wouldn't mind flowers. I actually think they look quite nice because it adds in a lot of color. But I think for the terrain we're working with and the biome we're in, I think just grass is going to look a little bit better. Maybe we could have a couple of patches of wildflower. That could look pretty cool. The only other thing I'm tempted to try out is some patches of coarse dirt, a little bit like you can find in the mega taiga biomes, where basically we just have like a carved out area of grass here, maybe going a bit like this just to try and blend with the terrain. And then we would add all of this in to be coarse dirt. And how does this look? Not too bad, actually. I kind of like that, but I also kind of think I don't really know how much of a difference it's going to make as opposed to just having regular grass. Okay, that's something I think I'm going to have to think on for a little while. Oh, buddy, does this not look a million times better than it did at the start of the episode? I told you guys, landscaping and custom trees and all that sort of thing, while it can be a pain sometimes, it's oh so worth it in the end because this just looks so much better. I love it. So, as you can see, I didn't end up adding in... Oh, by the way, Sky has collected another friend, so I'm going to need 3 names for those llamas. Thank you. Not sure where he came from. But yeah, I ended up not adding in any of the coarse dirt piles. I tried it and I wasn't too keen on the idea. Plus, I didn't really think it was worth it because everything we're doing here, of course, if it isn't obvious, is going to be done basically throughout my entire area here at some point or another. Not just yet. It's probably going to be a gradual process, sort of a little bit each episode maybe or something like that. But yeah, I didn't add any of the coarse dirt in. We've just got all of the grass, and I do have, I think, 4 patches of wildflowers, which I actually really quite like that idea. I don't know why I've never done that before, because yeah, just adding in like little pops of color every now and again looks really quite cool. Oh, and of course, yeah, we do have quite a few of these small spruce trees. These certainly take a lot less time to build than the large ones do. Unfortunately, everyone, this is where we're going to have to end off today's episode. I really hope you have enjoyed it. I certainly have. I'm actually really excited to do some more landscaping. Not that it would be anytime soon. I think I'm going to wait until we got a few more buildings up. But yeah, I can't wait to do some more. So I really hope you liked all of what we've done in today's episode. Of course, if you have any suggestions or improvements I could make, let me know down in the comments below. That would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.